Okay, so now we're working on problem number 8. For which of the following pairs of values A and B does the expression A greater than B ended with A less than B, or A greater than B and A greater than 10 and A greater than B evaluate to true? So this is a bit of guess and check. So I'm going to take a look at all the options that were given, like the first one, 5 and 0. So is 5 greater than 20? The answer is, I see here. That's false. Ended with false is false. So false. Ordered with, and then I check this one, is 5 greater than 10? No, it's false. So false ordered with false is false. So A is not an option. So for part B, I check A and B, 5 and 10. Is 5 greater than 20? No. So this whole expression is false. Is 5 greater than 10? No. So this whole expression is false. False ordered with false is false. So then I try 15 and 10. Is 15 greater than 20? It is not. So this is false. But is 15 greater than 10? It is. And is 15 greater than 10? It is. So true and true is true. So a false ordered with true is true. So number 8 is true. Okay, number 9. Number 9 of these first 10, this one is the trickiest for sure. So it starts off that we're making an array list. And in this array list, we have a loop. The loop goes from k equals 1 to 6. And to this array list, we're going to add integers. So these make integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to add those to an array list. So for when you make an array list, as soon as we start adding things, we just keep adding to the end of the list when we're just using the add method. So after that first for loop, this is what our array list looks like. It is in a simple array of integer objects 1 through 6. Now, then we encounter another loop. So this time, k equals 0, k's got to be less than 3, k plus plus. So I go to my list, I remove the kth element, which is the first time through, remove what's stored at position 0. I put it into the variable I, assign I to it, and then I add it. Then I add I, and it will add to the end of the list. So let's walk through. K is 0. So once again, I remove the 0 element, which is the integer 1, and I assign it to I, and then I add it to the end of the list. So this is what the array list looks like after I remove what's stored at position 0. Remember, we make a hole here, and then everything shifts to the left. But then I add I back to the array list, and it puts it on the end. So then I go back, I increment k to 1. Is 1 less than 3? It is. I go inside the for loop. So this time I'm going to remove what's at position 1 in the array list. So at this point, what is at position 1 is the number 3. So I is assigned the integer object 3, and then I put it, so I make a hole. Once again, I make a hole by removing this. And so these elements move to the left. So this is what the array list looks like after I remove what is stored at position 1. But then I assign it to I and add it to the end of the array list. I go back to my, I increment k is 2 less than 3 it is. I go inside, I remove what's stored at position 2 and assign it to I. So at position 2 is number 5. I assign it to I. Again, we make a hole here, so all these items move to the left. then I add 5 to the end of the array list. So this is what my array list looks like when I'm all done. 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 5. Now finally, so I don't know if I necessarily agree with this answer that they give you in the formal solutions. It says, which of the following methods are equivalent? Always return the same value for the same values of input parameters. So I'm not going to lie, I think that statement is pretty vague. Always returns the same value for the same values of input parameters. So in my solution, I said consider A equals B equals C. So I go back here and let's say they're all 3. Is 3 greater than or equal to 3? It is. Is 3 greater than or equal to 3? It is. I return true. I come down here. Is 3 greater than or equal to 3 and 3 greater than or equal to 3? It is. I return true. And finally, once again, if they're all 3, is 3 greater than or equal to 3? It is. Or with 3 greater than or equal to 3? It is. So I think the answer is all 3 are equivalent. Always return the same value for the same values of input parameters. So I guess their answer is A. And I think we could argue about this one for a while. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to spend a lot of time worrying about it because from my experience, College Board questions are much clearer than the way this is asked. So I don't want you to stress about it. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions. There'll be more to come.